The Viridian League is back for Season 3. But first, of course, we have to do the qualifiers. Our 4 auto-qualified teams, the Evergreen Oaks, Wintermints, Snapdragons and Nightshades, have each selected an event to challenge our 20 other teams to see which 12 can qualify. You can see all our teams here ready and lined up to take on that challenge. So first, we'll start off with a classic making its return from Season 1. That is, of course, balancing. This is the Nightshades trial. It's the same format as it's always been. 4 models run down a beam and try to get as far as they can. We'll start with the friendly. We can see to show other teams where there are actual stakes at hand, how it's done. The Nightshades in their semi events, of course, go first. Let's see how they do here. And it's looking decent. All marbles past 40. They do lose 3 in quick succession now. Let's see if this last marble can be a finisher. And yes, they can. For 298 totals, looking like a decent benchmark. But we'll see how our other friendly teams tackle this event as well. Now we have the Snapdragons. They got 3rd place last season on tiebreak with the Nightshades. This is the first time they're doing this event, and then experience is showing here with only 1 going past 40. Let's see here, and they will get a finisher, but it's only going to be 222. That's going to slot them right behind the Nightshades. Now we go to the Wintermints. They got 2nd last place, couldn't quite come back in the marathon. Let's see how they do this time around. Let's see, fairly solid start so far. 1 losing early, but the other 3 still going past 80. Let's see how will this end up, and it's going to be 3 finishers. A great run here from the Wintermints, showing other teams in the qualifying round how it's done. And now we head to our champions of Season 2, the Evergreen Oaks. A very interesting season they had. They had all their medals in the first half and then almost coasted to the championship for there. A bit of a challenge at the end, of course. Let's see how they do in this event. They lose 3 in relatively even stages, but they do get a finisher. But it's only going to be 274. That's going to slot them into 3rd, which means the Wintermints will win the first event of the friendly over the Nightshades in their similar event, and then the Evergreen Oaks and the Snapdragons. Now we head straight into the qualifying round. We have, starting us off, the Dune Dashers. They missed out on qualification by just a single point. Really hoping to get through these qualifiers to get another great run in the season. Let's see. Not a great start here. 2 already early. Let's see how the other 2 do. And they lose them both. And it's going to be a 229. Looking back at their friendly, this is not likely to be a great run. But we'll see how the other qualifying teams do. Now we have our Season 1 champions, the John Jolt. Let's see how they do here. And let's say they lose 1, 2, and 4 overall in just under 40 distance for 112 total. That's the worst run we've ever seen in balancing. Now we go to the Cosmoscopes. Not what you expected from the Season 1 champions. Let's see how this team that has placed top half in both of the seasons will do. And it's looking like a decent start. 2 still going past 70. Let's see if this last marble can be a finisher. And yes, they can for 273 total. It's going to slide it into the lead for now. Now we go to the Auto Meshes, Season 1 3rd placers. Now, of course, having to tackle the qualifiers for the first time. Let's see how they do. They lose 1 relatively early, but the other 3 are going fairly strong. Let's see, will they get 2 finishers here? And it is looking like it. For 327 total, it's gonna slot them into 1st so far. From a very solid run overall. Now with the Appletars, they won this event back in Season 1. Let's see how they do here. In Season 3, let's see, and they lose 1 fairly early, and 3 more for an 80 total. I already said the 112 from the John Jolts was the worst one we've seen, but this is going to break even that. Not what you expected from the defending gold medalists in this event. Now we have the Supersonics, 2nd place in Season 1. Now, of course, also doing the qualifiers first time. A bit of a mixed bag. They did a weird start, which caused one of their marbles to finish with a 4, but they do get 2 finishers, making up for that. And that's going to slot them into 2nd place with a 293. Fairly low run so far. Let's see if Team Brimstone can change that. They do have a lot to overcome though, because they got last in this event back in Season 1. Let's see. But it's going a lot better this time around. They still have 3 going past 80 by almost. Let's see, Tombstone, can they get a finish? And yes, they do! For 343 total, it's going to slot them right into 1st place. What a change of fate for Team Brimstone here. Great run from them. Now we go to the Sterling Skies. Sterling Skies, 2 relatively subpar seasons so far. Let's see if they can get to Season 3 to hopefully improve on that. 2 middling first follows, but they have 2 still going. Can they get 2 finishers? And yes, they do. This is also going to be a decent run to slot them right by Team Brimstone. Well done from the Southern Skies here. Now we go to the Historunes. Also a team that has struggled in the history. Let's see. Not a great starter with 3 out of the gate. This is not what they want to see if they want to get back to the Viridian League to get a good season going. Let's see if this last marble can salvage it a bit. Let's see. And yes, they do turn into a finisher, but it's only going to be 7th out of 9 so far. Not a great start for the Historunes. Now we go to the quarters. They submitted this event back in Season 1. Weren't great back then. Let's see if they can do better here. Let's see. Decent start. All 4 still going past 30, but they lose 3 in quick succession. Let's see if the gem here can be a finisher. And no. Only highest of 75 is going to be a poor run for them as well. Now we go to the Eventide Aurors. A great Season 1. Struggling quite a bit last time. Let's see which of the 2 will get this time. And a very awkward start to get a 4 this time as well. But the other 3 are still going past 40. Let's see, 2 still going now. Can they get to finishers? And no, only Dust still going. And that they will finish this course here for 270. Which is only going to put them mid-pack. Now we go to the Rainbirds. They got second in this event in Season 1, of course. But they struggled quite a bit in Season 2. Let's see how they'll do here. They need a good result if they want to get back into the Viridian League. Let's see. And it's not going to go great yet. 3 going fairly far, but they all just fall off in quick succession for only 238. Not a great result, but mid-pack is not awful for them either. Now we go for the White Women's, our first team that did not qualify for Season 2. Let's see, they lose 2 of 3 early, only 1 still going. It's not looking like a great run. Let's see if they can get a finisher here. And yes, they do. But they'll need to do better in the following events if they want to make it back to the Viridian League. Now we go to the first team that has never qualified before. The Candlesons trying to make their debut. They had an atrocious time in the qualifiers last time around. Let's see if they have improved in the off-season. Let's see, 2 falling off, but it's looking like a very solid run. All 2 still going past 100, and they do lose both, but it's going to slot into second place with a 337 total. Great run for the Constants. Exactly what they needed here to get into the Viridian League for the first time. Now, Prismatics, very similar story to the Candlesons. Let's see, they lose Keppel here relatively early, but Cardinal, Verdant, and Citrian are still going. Let's see, all 3 still going past 100 now. That's looking a very solid run. And they have 3 finishes for a 408. That's going to slot them into the lead. Great running from the Prismatics. Exactly what they needed here. It's a great start for them to these qualifiers. Now with the Sunrays, the last of our Season 2 newbies that managed to fail to qualify in their first try. They did win the Viridian Showdown though. Let's see how they'll do here. It's looking like they won't be as good as the other 2 failed debutees, but the 297 is still a solid run from them to start in these qualifiers. Now we have our 4 teams that have never appeared in the Viridian League before. The Incaps here trying to make their debut. Let's see, they lose 2 relatively early, but they still have Moral and Umbra going relatively straight. Let's see if they can turn that into 2 finishers. And yes, they do for a 308 total. Going to slot right ahead of the Sunrays. Great start from them. Now we have the Aqua Amoebas. Let's see. Cologne at the start here. Let's see. And it's looking very straight so far. 3 marbles right on the line. And now they're stretching out a bit. Let's see. They lose their captain there. But the other 3 are still going. There's going to be a very strong run. Let's see. Can they get a finisher? And no. But the 327 with no finishers. The consistency paid off for them. To place right above the Incaps as well. Now we go for the Moss Machines. A 3rd new team. Let's see. A bit of a rocky start, but they managed to recover. All 4 still going past 40. They lose their first now. Let's see. Bunching up, losing 1 more, but it's looking like a very strong run. They have 2 finishers for 395 total. It's going to slot into second place. Great run them from the Moss Machines. Now we go to our final new team in the final run of balancing the Braided Band. Let's see, a solid start here. All past 40, they lose 2 in quick succession, but they have 2 still going. This could be a very solid run if they keep it going as they are. Let's see, will they get 2 finishers? And yes, they do! For 350 total to slot right behind the Machines. In 3rd place, we have 3 teams that have never qualified at the top. Right at Team Brimstone, great results from them. Meanwhile, Appletart and John Jols, 2 veterans of the Viridian League, really struggling out here. Of course, it's only the first event. And you can see the standings are the same. We'll see how this all changes over the following 3. You see the fans rejoicing with a great start. Now we go to the second event, Biathlon. This is the Winter Mints trial. Let's see. This is a team event. It's kind of similar to relay. You have to move through a very bendy course and then keep it straight in a shooting section. Because if you hit the wall, you'll be fairly slowed down. Now we have The friendly, of course, starting off the show is how it's done. Wintermints at the top, then Snapdragons, Evergreen Oaks, and the Nightshades all below them. And they have all those three having a slightly better start here. Snapdragons to the start into the first shooting section, and they keep it clean. Meanwhile, Evergreen Oaks and Nightshades struggle a bit, which allowed the Wintermints to catch right back up. Let's see. Evergreen Oaks, great maneuvering there through that section to go first into the shooting section and kept it clean. Now, while the other two teams struggling a bit, which allowed the Nightshades to catch up, although they have a bad entry there into the snow section. Now, Evergreen Oaks very far ahead. Let's see. Wintermints struggling there a bit, which allows Snapdragons to move into second place. Let's see, but no one's gonna catch the Evergreen Oaks. Let's see, they keep it clean for a 41.07 total. Great run here from our Season 2 champions, and a last second overtake here from the Snapdragons. It was close for second place, but the Snapdragons will get it over the Nightshades, and the Wintermints getting last in their submitted event. Nostalgic for Season 1 mayhaps. Now we go straight into the qualifiers with Team Brimstone, Automashers, Mob Machines, and Rainbirds in the first heat. We've seen how it goes now with the friendly. Let's see, and Mob Machines have clearly paid attention because they have a great start. Rainbirds are right behind them as well. Let's see. And those keep it clean in the shooting section. Automashers did not, which drops them into last, but it's very close here between the Rainbirds and the Mob Machines. Neck and neck, changing positions back and forth all the time, and they keep it clean in the shooting once again. Automashers, Team Brimstone really struggling behind. It's between the Moss Machines and the Rainbirds for the win here. Let's see. Moss Machines out in the shooting section first, but they struggle, which allows the Rainbirds to catch right back up. Let's see. Very close in the final section here. Redto versus Pond, who will take it home for their team. Redto goes first in the shooting section, but they mess up again, which allows the Rainbird to overtake and win this heat. Meanwhile, Team Brimstone and Automashers crawling across the line. Not great times for both of those teams. Meanwhile, Rainbirds with a 43.25 is going to set the benchmark in the qualifier being round. We saw, if we look back at the friendly, that's looking like a decent run, but probably not going to hold for the lead. Now we go to heat 2 with the Sunrays, Even Towers, Hisrunes, and the Supersonics, and the two S teams off to a better start here, but the other two managed to catch right up. As I said, it's going to be very close heading into the first shooting section, and they all keep it clean, mostly at least. And now Even Towers, because they messed up a little in the back, the other three fairly close. Sunrays hold the lead, but they mess up here, but Supersonics cannot capitalize. Meanwhile, Even Towers do here, which allows them to catch right back up to the pack. Sunrays very smooth moving here to keep the lead. Once again, not great shooting section here, but it's close between these two. Of course, you are not just racing against your competitors, you're racing for time, so all those failed shooting sections are gonna hurt these teams. Let's see, the Sunrays are gonna win ahead of the Supersonics. But because all those failed shooting sections, only going to be 44.09, which is good enough to place third so far, ahead of the Supersonics fourth and the Hisrunes in fifth. Although that's quite a big gap that I don't expect to stay unfilled. Now we go to the third heat. We have the Braided Band, Dune Dashers, Apple Tarts, and Prismatics. Let's see, Dune Dashers off to a great start, really moving through these slow slaloms. But the others catch up, as I say that as well. All these teams keeping it clean for the first shooting section. Now Dune Dashers still in the lead, but Braided Band and Prismatics catching up. Prismatics now into second place. Let's see, but both of these teams struggle in the shooting, which allows the Apple Tarts and Braided Band to overtake. Great movement here from the Braided Band, moving from fourth all the way into the lead. Let's see, Apple Tarts are right behind them as well, and they have great shooting section. Meanwhile, Prismatics and Dune Dashers really changing up here, falling into the third and last. It's going to be between the Braided Band with a great maneuvering there to finish this heat with a 42.53. Then the Apple Tarts come around in 45.37, and the Prismatics make a last section overtake on the Dune Dashers to finish ahead of them. But it will be the Braided Band that goes to the top of the standings here in the Biathlon. Now we go to the fourth heat. The Sterling Skies, Candle Sense, John Jules, and Aqua Amoebas in this one. Let's see, a great start here for the John Jules, but Cosmoscopes and Sterling Skies are just as good as I say that. It's a very strong start for both these teams and keeping the shooting clean. Aqua Amoebas falling behind a bit. Now great maneuvering here once again from the Sterling Skies, really creating a gap. Meanwhile, the Candle Sense managed to make an overtake. Once again, keeping it clean in the shooting. John Jules mess up a bit, which allows the Aqua Amoebas to overtake them, but it's the Sterling Skies really in the lead. John Jules great maneuvering here to catch up right back to the Candle Sense. Both struggling a little bit in the shooting, but so did the Sterling Skies, so they catch right back up. Sterling Skies really fast on this one. Let's see if they can convert it here, and they do for a 40.39. It's going to be the Candle Sense, which just barely ekes out second place, but a very fast heat all around. Stunning Skies goes to the top of the standings with the Candle Sense in 4th, but their last place finish, the Aquabus, only 8th, is not too shabby at all. Now we go to the final heat with the Cosmoscopes, Incaps, White Ribbons, and the Quad Roses. And up they go, let's see. Not the greatest start of all these teams, it's Cosmoscopes. Now getting ready, used to this course, being the first to head the shooting section, but they struggle here. All these teams do, so they're once again tied up, heading into the second section. It's very close, the lead switching back and forth all the time. Let's see, back when it was the Incaps, now it's the White Women's, and then it's the Cosmoscopes. White Women's, the only one that takes the shooting section clean, which allows them to move into the lead. Cosmoscopes, Incaps are right there as well. Quartz Roses a little bit behind. Let's see how will they take the shooting section. And it's not great. Incaps really struggle, which allowed the Quartz Roses to catch up to them, but it's between the Cosmoscopes and the White Women's to challenge who's going to win. It's going to go to the White Women's if they hold on here, and they will, for a 44-45. Not a great time here at all. Only 8th, not too shabby still, but for the winner of this heat, and what you expect. Meanwhile, the Incaps really struggling in the last section to fall all the way to the last. Not what you wanted to see from them. Stunning Sky is, of course, winning the event with a 40-39 ahead of the Braided Band not far behind, and the Rainbirds in 3rd. Kennelson's also getting another second event, and it will be the Braided Band that hold the lead at the top of the standings over the Stunning Skies and the Moss Machines. Rainbirds moving up 8th with their bronze in this event. Great result from them. Now we head to the 3rd quali event, which is a new one for other teams. Yet again, this is the shot put, the Snapdragon's trial. In the actual season it will work a little differently, but in this qualifier iteration it's just you get a single put, farthest wins. Now of course we start with the friendly with the Asteroid, the reserve of the Snapdragon, showing how it's done here. Let's see, and a great start here with a 6.13. We'll see how our other friendly teams compare to that, of course. This event might be a little similar to Jousting because it's only one marble. We'll see if any skill translates. Swamp, almost half of what the Snapdragons did. Not a great result from them. Now we have Ghoul. Let's see how they compare. And a little worse than the Evergreen Oaks. And now we head to the final of our friendly teams with Rhyme from the Winter Mid. Let's see how they do here. And it's a great putt for 7.55. Let's see how this compares to the qualifiers after they really set a great benchmark. And it's going to be Rhyme winning over Asteroid here. Let's see, we head straight to the qualifying rounds with Pyro starting us off. This event's going to go by fast. Let's see what's going to be our first starting benchmark, and it's going to be a 5.37. Looking back at the qualifier, that should be about mid-pack. Now we go to Algis. Let's see here, a 4.67, a little worse than what we saw Pyro do. Now we go to the Braided Band with Linen at the top of the standing. Let's see if they can grow the lead even more. And it's going to be barely worse than the Historunes. Now Chris from the Autumn Ashes. Off they go. Let's see, slotting right in between our two bars right now. Of course, we have two overlapping. And then we go straight to Radiant. Let's see how will they do. And it's barely going to be second place. Very similar run so far with a 5.17. We'll see how unpaired those compare to that. Off they go. Let's see. And it's a monstrous push for 7.99. That's great for the Jonjos, something they desperately needed. They're in the cutoff zone, but it's going to help them for sure. Now Caustic from Epitaph. Let's see if they can perform similarly. Not quite a 4.99. It's going to put them in the mid-pack so far. But fairly decent runs all around so far. Now we go to Retro from the Moss Machines. Let's see. And they're going to slot into second place by a comfortable margin, of course. First is quite a bit ahead. There could maybe many teams that slot into there. Let's see how Nucleus does. And as I say that, we have one doing right that with a 7.17. Nucleus slots up into second place. Now we go to Citron from the Prismatics. Let's see here. Oh, it's an awful result. Just hitting the ball bang in all the worst places to get them a 0.42. Let's see if Jet can do better than that. And of course they do. It's only a 5.01, which is going to put them in the mid-pack. Now we go River from the Rainbirds. They got third in the last event. Let's see if that momentum changes things here. And it does. They finish second here so far with a 7.73. Great result here from the River from the Rainbirds. Now we have the Candle Suns with Incense. Let's see. And they do similar. 7.59. Gonna slot them into third. Great run from them as well. Now we have Asteroid. How will they compare to the other purplish teams before? And they're gonna slot with a 6.57. Not quite as good, but still a very solid run from them. Now we have blast from the Quartz Roses. Let's see how they do. And it's going to be in the mid-pack. A 5.33 is going to slot them into 8th so far. This event only has 5 runs to go. It's gone really fast by. Now Gloaming, let's see. And it's only going to be 4.45. Really unfortunate. Very strong runs all around. Now we have Sandy from the Dune Dashers. Let's see here. And do a 7.36 is exactly what the Dune Dashers needed. That's going to certainly help them in the standings. Now we have Quill from the Incaps. Let's see how they do. And they're going to slot decently in 8th with a 5.71. Now we have Hurricane from the White Wings. They and the Southern Skies have opted to swap their positions in the running order. You might have noticed it was a rainbow until now. 5.59 is going to be decent for Hurricane. Let's see if this swap also helps Nickel from the Southern Skies. And off they go. Let's see here. And it's a 5.88, so yes it does. That's going to slot them into 8th place, but that means of course the John Jolts will win the event over River from the Rainbirds and Incense from the Candle Sands. Sandy also getting a much needed result, meanwhile Gloaming not having good at all in the bottom of the standings. Now we have 4 teams already qualified. The Candle Sands, Sterling Skies, Mob Machines and Raybirds through some countbacks are all qualified for Season 3. They have already punched their ticket to the main league. Now we head to the final qualifier event. The Evergreen Oaks are Season 2 champions. A selected event, the combination race. In the actual season, this will be a bit of a points race to see how you can be consistent over 4 runs. But in the qualifier, it's just a single go. You have to perform when it matters here. Now, we start with a friendly, of course, with Taiga, Mahas, Frostbite, and Phantom, showing us how the scores have changed. It's mostly similar to the Season 2 one, with a few tweaks later in the course. Because if you remember, we had some trouble back then. Let's see if the changes have solved those. Now, of course, Taiga into the lead. Not surprised, they did submit this event. Let's see, the others currently not challenging at all. Let's see, Wintermins and Snapdragons make a close in right here. Meanwhile, Phantom still struggling a bit, and they're gonna even go backwards here. But the other 3 are neck and neck. Let's see, heading into the green section, they can't quite make an overtake. Frostbite struggling a bit as well. Now let's see. It's close between Mahas and Taiga, and Mahas makes an overtake here. So right to the back, let's see, Mahas struggling a bit here. Let's see if Evergreen can close in, but not for long, as the Wintermins make a great overtake at the 2nd place, and a great one to take the lead. Now it's close between all these streams heading into the final section. Let's see, Snapdragons and Wintermins close to each other. Let's see, Snapdragons lose out here with the Wintermins. Maybe it was a strategic move for them to give them the lead. Let's see if they can hold on to it. Meanwhile, Evergreen Oaks in the fight as well. Let's see, they make an overtake on the Snapdragons, but the Wintermins were too far away. The Wintermins will win this event ahead of the Evergreen Oaks, and the Snapdragons settle into 3rd here. Meanwhile, the Nightshades lucky to be auto-qualified. They have not had a great time in the friendly here. Meanwhile, the Wintermins getting the win here. That should be good enough for them to get the overwin in their friendly. Taiga, of course, still doing well. Let's see here, and yes it is. Wintermins will win with 16 points total. Evergreen Oaks with 12, not too shabby, just 4 behind them. And the Snapdragons nudge out the Nightshades just like they did in Season 2. Now we head to the main show of this final qualifying event. We have the running order here. They're sorted by reverse standings order. So our sorting teams towards the center and our safe teams towards the sides. Let's see how they do here. Meanwhile, it's currently Cosmoscopes towards the lead by Moss Machines, Candles and Southern Skies not being at all bothered by that side start. Let's see how they face this yellow section here. Let's see, it's going to be very close between multiple teams. Historians there as well. And the Apple Tarts. Let's see if they can make another comeback just like they did in Season 2, but not if they're going to struggle like here. And it's all closed up. They need a good result. And meanwhile, the Incaps, a great line here to move right into 1st place. And by quite a big margin as well. We cannot even see any other teams for a bit. They have a big lead. They need to hold on to it. Let's see how they do, making the great lines, really hampering our vision of the back. It's going to be quite a surprise at the end of the course how it's all shaken up. Meanwhile, the Incaps just need to keep it clean to instead to win this race. Let's see how they do that. Meanwhile, Luster, Verdant and Silver fighting for 2nd place here. Velvet in there as well. Let's see, Incaps slowing down quite a bit. Incaps really struggling here, which allows a lot of teams to catch up. So there's Velvet, Luster, Silver, and Verdant. Let's see, it's going to be close. Who's going to win? Let's see, and Verdant makes a last-second overtake to get the win from the Incaps. Let's see, Silver finishes 3rd ahead of Velvet, Luster, And A was really a good result, but I don't know if it'll be good enough. Then Flame, Gil, Perfume, Camo, Stereo, Bio, Cinder, Rocky, Puddle, Starlight, Crystal, what? And 190, they were leading early on. What happened? And then Sunset in last. If the Rose did not have a good qualifier here at all. We can see Verdant wins over Bonnet from the Incaps. And Silver rounds out the top 3. Both all 3 of those teams should be good with this result. But who else will join them? It's going to be close at the cutoff. Now let's see how the final standings have shaken up. The Sterling Skies will win the qualifiers ahead of the Candle Sense. And the Braided Band rounding out the podium. The Moss Machines will qualify as well. So do the Prismatics, the Rainbirds, the Sunrays, and the Aqua Amoebas. Just 4 spots left. Incaps will get 1 of those. So does Team Brimstone. We're going to slow down. Just 2 teams left. Let's see. The Season 1 champions, the John Jones, will qualify as well. And who will get that last spot? And it's going to be the White Whirlwinds. With 3 points over the Dune Dashers will qualify. Meanwhile, the Dune Dashers, Sculptoscopes, Supersonics, Automashers, Histrunes, Quad Roses, Appletards, and Eve Dyros will miss out here. We can see here the fans of our non-advancing teams not too happy with this outcome, but they will of course still have the Vermilion Showdown to compete in, which will run alongside the main tournament. So stay excited for that as well. But of course, we can see here our Season 3 roster. We have 7 newbies qualifying. It's going to be a chaotic one. See you then.